What's up everyone and welcome back to the UFC News Hub. Today let's get started with Dustin Poirier impressed with Paddy Pimblett and talks about next UFC fight. Dustin Poirier is nearing the end of his journey in the UFC, and he's made it clear he wants one final legendary fight before he hangs up the gloves. But even as he plans his own farewell, he's keeping a close eye on the rising stars of the sport. One name that caught his attention in a big way, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. After Paddy's dominant showing against Michael Chandler, people started to take notice. But for Dustin, it was undeniable. During an interview with MMA Junkie's Mike Bone, Dustin Poirier said, "He's legit. How can I deny him anymore? Chandler's a tough guy. The guy was a prospect. Now he's a contender. You have to take him for real now." Coming from a seasoned vet like Poirier, that's no small compliment, and while he acknowledged Chandler didn't look his best, he emphasized that Paddy still delivered a performance that earned respect. Dustin also shared who he'd like to see Paddy face next, and it wasn't just anyone. Dustin Poirier said, "Not that Chandler wasn't a big fight, but his next fight has to be a really big one, like a Gamrot, Arman, or Oliveira. But for me as a fan, put him in there with Dan Hooker. That would be an incredible fight. That's a fun fight. The build-up is going to be fun. Dan is going to stand and trade with him. That's the kind of matchup fans would love. Pure fireworks." Brendan Schaub also gave his take on Paddy's future, suggesting an even bigger challenge. Brendan Schaub said, "If I'm the UFC, I'm strategically going to match up Paddy to have success. You do Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. That's what I would do." According to him, Gaethje's style might give Paddy the best shot out of all the top contenders. Brendan Schaub said stylistically, Justin matches up very poorly with Paddy. Paddy can beat Justin. Paddy can beat Charles. Paddy can beat Dustin. But they're tougher fights. Out of those three, Justin is the one you want if you're the Paddy camp. But let's not forget the matchup fans have been asking for the most. Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria. The tension between them is real, and the MMA world is hungry for that showdown. Aaron Paco said, "I want to see Paddy versus Ilia more than I want to see him versus Islam. If Ilia wants to come up to 155, what better fight to make?" Even legends like Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo seem to agree. Henry Cejudo said, "I like the Ilia fight because if Justin Gaethje is fighting for the title, Dustin doesn't necessarily want that fight because Dustin wants a retirement fight." Then Kamaru Usman added, "You hit the nail on the head. Winner is ultra popular now and ready to challenge for that title. Book it." And while everyone debates Paddy's future, Dustin gave fans something to look forward to as well. Dustin Poirier said, "I'm expecting my final fight to get announced within the next 2 weeks. Whether it's one last war for Dustin or a star-making bout for Paddy, one thing's for sure, the lightweight division is heating up." Before we continue, subscribe and click the bell icon to help support the channel. Conor McGregor reacts to Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. Leading up to UFC 314, anticipation was sky high as fans eagerly waited to see what would happen when Michael Chandler stepped into the octagon with Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Amidst the buzz, Conor McGregor stirred the pot with his own bold prediction. He jumped onto social media and confidently called that Chandler would walk away victorious with a brutal KO. His words added extra fuel to an already heated matchup. But after the fight, things didn't go quite how Conor had imagined. Pimblett came out strong and delivered a dominant performance that shocked many, flipping the narrative completely. In true McGregor fashion, he didn't shy away from owning the moment, instead circling back and explaining the thinking behind his prediction. "Chandler, you mother, you rest up. Fair play," Conor McGregor said, acknowledging the reality of the fight and showing a bit of respect to both men. McGregor went on to break down his thoughts behind choosing Chandler, saying the odds for a KO win were just too tempting to pass up. "My history with Mike and the odds on him by KO swayed me to take the risk. My head did say Paddy. He's improving, but with a way to go yet," McGregor said, being honest about how close he was to picking Pimblett instead. He didn't stop there. Always one to keep things interesting, McGregor threw in a little flex of his own, brushing off the loss like it was just another bet. "Ah well, what's 500,000 to an MG like me? Can you please remind me more than your purse, thanks?" McGregor added with his signature blend of cocky humor and confidence. "Dual blitz, best odds in the game. I'll get it back, I'm sure. In fact, I just did," he said, making it clear that even a $500,000 miss wasn't enough to shake him. Now, after watching Pimblett handle Chandler the way he did, there's a new wave of speculation. Many in the MMA world believe this could reignite the fire for McGregor to finally return to the octagon and settle unfinished business with Chandler once and for all. But with Chandler likely heading to the sidelines to recover, the waiting game continues. Still, if there's one thing fans know about McGregor, it's that when he talks, people listen, and when he fights, the whole world watches. Khabib shuts down Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. Khabib Nurmagomedov recently made it crystal clear there's no way Ilia Topuria is jumping the line to fight Islam Makhachev without proving himself first. During an interview, Khabib revealed some important details about Islam's future and who's really on the radar for his next fight. He firmly dismissed the idea of Islam facing Ilia, and his reasoning is hard to argue with. According to Khabib, Islam is about to turn 34, and at this point in his career, every fight counts. He doesn't have the time or interest to waste on opponents who haven't truly earned their shot. Khabib believes that Islam needs to face real contenders, fighters who have been in the lightweight division, built their way up, and shown consistency over time. When asked about Ilia Topuria possibly moving up to lightweight for a title shot, Khabib didn't hold back. "I think Arman is a more serious fighter than Topuria," Khabib said. He acknowledged that Topuria is talented, but he hasn't done anything at 155 yet. Topuria is good at 145, but we haven't seen him at 155. Khabib added. That's a major sticking point. Giving Topuria an immediate title shot at lightweight without a single fight in that division would completely bypass the system and the fighters who've been grinding for years. Khabib went on to break it down further. Let's say Topuria gets an immediate title shot at 155 and Islam beats him. So basically he was a nobody at 155. Islam beat a guy who was a nobody at 155, he explained. That kind of win doesn't do much for Islam's legacy. At this stage, every opponent Islam faces needs to be someone with serious credibility in the division. Time is ticking for Islam. As Khabib pointed out, he'll be 34 soon, and he doesn't want to take fights just for hype or short notice fill-ins. He doesn't want to fight someone like Topuria or Volkanovski or someone like Max Holloway stepping in on short notice. Khabib said, the plan is clear. Fight people who belong in the lightweight division, who've earned their place, and who will genuinely challenge Islam's skill set. Islam wants to fight real contenders, guys who have been at 155 for a long time. If you're moving up, earn it, Khabib said. And just like that, the door seems shut, for now, on a Topuria versus Makhachev showdown. And also, Khabib Nurmagomedov recently opened up about a topic that's been stirring a lot of speculation, whether or not Islam Makhachev will move up to the 170-pound division, and his answer was honest, heartfelt, and deeply rooted in loyalty. Khabib explained that Islam does want to test himself at welterweight, but there's something bigger than titles and challenges that's holding him back: brotherhood. Islam wants to fight at 170, but he can't go up there because Bilal is the champion and is very close to us. We can't exchange our relationships for belts. That's not the way we are, Khabib said. He made it clear that the bond they share within their team runs deeper than the hunger for gold. These guys don't just train together, they're like family. Khabib emphasized that competing against someone as close as Bilal Muhammad just isn't an option, no matter how tempting the prize may be. Those who offer us this just don't look at the things we do. We have different views in this case, he said, pointing to a bigger picture that many outside their circle might not fully understand. His words carried a strong message about values and unity, especially in a sport where rivalries and personal ambition often dominate the headlines. Khabib didn't just speak as a coach or a fighter, he spoke as a brother. I really want Bilal to win with all my heart, he added, showing where his loyalty truly lies. So now the big question remains, should Islam wait? Should he hold off until Ilia Topuria becomes a more established contender? Or should his next challenge be someone like Arman Tsarukyan, a fighter many believe has the skill set to test Islam like no one else has? Let us know what you think. Should Islam stay patient, respect the team bond, and wait for the perfect challenge? Or is it time for a new chapter at 155 or 170?